the request to the broken facility.
Hello and welcome to the Fitz and Healthy podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lauren Fitz, and I'm joined by my beautiful co-host, Cinthanie McAllister. What's up, girl?
It's still weird to hear Cinthanie McAllister. Just
right?
Out there. But hey, girl, hey.
I was going to say, you can't skip the hey, girl, hey. So today's episode is extra special because we are going to be talking about New Year's fitness plans. And this is basically going to be released right when everyone is starting to think about what they are going to do in the New Year's when it comes to New Year's resolutions, their body, new goals and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an episode that's going to be packed full of some great points that you can take into your own life and use it and apply it. But before we do that, we definitely need to give a shout out to all of our faithful followers who not only subscribe, but have gone and taken the time to leave a review, because it's because of that is why people are contacting us to interview them for the shows. And ultimately, we want to empower the listener so that you can take this information and lead a more fits and healthy lifestyle. But it's because of the people like the one that you're going to read today who's taken the time to leave a review. We just want to give a huge shout out. So tell us about the review of the week.
All right, so this is a 5-star review, and it is from Bud. It says, a good place to start learning. Dr. Lauren and Cinthanie talk about a lot of topics important to health and that have a lot of misinformation everywhere else that you turn. They offer good resources and also present it in a fun way, not like you're attending a lecture. If you're a little bit of a health and wellness nerd, you will love them. Thanks, guys.
Yay! Excellent. I love that.
Yeah, I'm glad that we don't sound like we're lecturing.
I know, dude. I was actually listening to a podcast just last night talking about SIBO, which is an acronym for small intestine bacterial overgrowth. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we'll probably do a whole episode on that. But it's done by a doctor, and she interviews other doctors, and like listening to him, it was just like, okay, focus. It's, not all podcasts are created equal. And even though it's great information, the way in which it's delivered, I definitely think is important. And that's why I love having you as my co-host, because you bring so many other elements into it. And ultimately, if we're like robots in monodrone and it's not fun to listen to, people aren't going to get the information. And that ultimately at the end of the day is what we want. We want to stick in your head. And the next time you go and you pick up something off of the shelf and you turn it over and you don't just look at the nutrition facts, you look at the ingredients, because we've gotten in your head and you're like, oh wait, that says sucralose. That's the thing that they keep talking about that's bad. Okay, I'm not going to do that, Mm-hmm. So shout out to Bud. Thanks for the review, my friend. So today's episode, and I definitely purposefully wore my workout outfit for those of people that watch on our podcast, our Fitz and Healthy podcast YouTube channel. I'm fitty fit right now. I got my tail handed to me this morning by Chris Downing himself. And we did literally a 10-minute workout. We did it live in our beta test group. And it was a HIIT style workout, which HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. So you literally hit it really hard, and then you have just enough time to catch your breath before you go hit it again. And there, if you haven't listened to our episode, we specifically just talk about HIIT only, you need to go listen to it, because there's so many different benefits of having HIIT training. And so I got my HIIT workout in at 5:30 this morning. And I have not showered. This is, I woke up like this and then put on a little bit of makeup.
Real life.
Yep. Real life for sure. But I wore my tank top, the, homies help homies, which I love the fact, because that will tie into one of our points that we have today to make today. So, okay. So fitness plan, New Year's fitness plan. There's a lot of people that, I don't know what the statistics are, but I would say a very large majority of people start off the new year with plans to do something different with their fitness, right?
Mhm.
And so the first point that we want to make is making a plan. Now, what are your thoughts on making a plan, Cinthanie?
Well, as the old saying goes, what is it? I just forgot it.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Thank you.
Dude,
Did you see the total deer in headlights just happen?
I don't know why, but that particular saying, I always have brain farts. I don't know why.
It's so simple. If
I
you
know.
fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's what
I
it is.
know. I literally, no kidding. I had a brain fart on that exact thing earlier this week, and someone helped me out. I was like, yeah.
Homies helping homies.
Yep. So true. Dude, I saw the face. I'm like, I know where she's going.
At least you picked up what I was throwing.
Yeah,
down.
no, I did. But it's so true. And, I know that, both of us are coaches and we help people, reach their goals. And one of the very first things that we do with the people that we coach in their health and fitness journey is we help them set up a plan. And so we, the preparation to go into anything new is just as important as that day 1, that day 2, that day 3. And so, for those people, obviously I am not a big fan, and, I'll speak to the majority, but those people because when they're listening to this, it's not quite January yet. I challenge you to not wait till January 1st to make a plan, because the date that this drops, like if you are struggling with your health and fitness, use this episode as your fuel to fire to light the fire under your butt of, what's the point? Seriously, what's so significant about January 1st versus December 11th or
your health is just as important on December 21st as it will be on January 1st.
So true. So true.
Every other day after that.
So true. So point 1 is make a plan. And literally there are so many different ways to make a plan. Our Robert has a freaking dry erase board that he has everything written out. So it's right in front of his face. I think that is a brilliant idea. There's so many different apps that can remind you about the plan that you make, but you first have to make that plan and literally sit down and look at, if like, for instance, I know that I'm going to be with my family in Texas for the holiday season. So I'm already planning on, like my mom already knows that I'm going to be eating this particular way. No cheats. And I'm going to be doing the workouts that are part of this plan that we're doing in the beta test group. And so that's part of my plan. This leads us to our second point, which is sustainability. Now, give me your thoughts on sustainability.
It's really important to be able to know that how you are achieving your health and fitness goals is how you're going to need to maintain them. So if you go into January thinking like, I'm going to go all out and I'm going to work out 2 hours every single day, like that's probably not really like super sustainable. So the way that you achieve your health is the way you're going to maintain it. So make sure that whatever your plan is or what kind of action you're taking towards your health is something that you can do forever. Could you work out 30 minutes a day forever? Probably. You can do that, right? 2 hours a day? I don't know. Maybe you're crazy, but I doubt it.
Well, the people that work out 2 hours a day, like that's their full-time job. Like, I mean, I can think of a few people that's what they do, but that's how they make their living and that's how they pay their bills.
Average person.
Exactly.
Just wanting to get healthy and fit.
Absolutely. So sustainability, you made the point of 2 hours, because I think for whatever reason, people, when the New Year's happens, they automatically think, oh, I'm going to join a gym or I'm going to go hire a personal trainer or whatever. And all of those are fine and dandy. Don't get me wrong. But very few people have the thought of, I'm going to change everything in my nutrition. Like it's always focused. And you guys know exercise is important. We definitely, that's the point of this particular episode. But if you're going to put 2 hours in the gym, why don't you put one of those hours into prepping your meals for the day. And you really, once you start meal prepping, you realize that you don't need to meal prep for an hour every day.
Yeah.
I mean, meal prepping is something that I think intimidates people and scares them, makes them like, oh, I could never do that. That's only something bodybuilders do, or people that compete in fitness competitions. But the reality is, it goes back to point one: plan. If you're not planning, wait, what is it again?
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We have failed to plan by writing that down. So
right?
Read it so we don't forget it.
For real. But point two is sustainability. The sustainability is something that I really want the listeners to take heart to, because just like any fad diet, any fad whatever, if you don't see yourself being able to put a wrap around your waist every day for the rest of your life to keep your midsection, which I just don't even understand that, but whatever. It's not sustainable. It's a quick fix. And maybe this year might be the first year that you actually change your lifestyle for good, so that you don't have to repeat the cycle year after year, January after January.
Yeah, because especially if you're doing like crash diets and stuff like that, a lot of people go on diets, and I say this in quotations for those of you that aren't watching. Go on diets, and then when they're done, and they go back to their old habits. But like I said, what you do to accomplish your health and fitness goals is what you're going to have to do to maintain it. So make sure that your eating habits are sustainable. You can't like go on like a gum diet and expect to yourself to be able to maintain those results when you go back to food. Like do something that's not going to destroy your body and that is sustainable.
Well, and this is a good point, because I always have people asking me what my thoughts are about gastric bypass or any of the bariatric surgeries. And, the reality, and if you didn't listen to the interview with Dr. Monica Torres, you should definitely go back and listen to that, because she practices bariatric medicine. She's the doc that the surgeons send patients to so that they can lose enough weight to have surgery. And more times than not, these patients realize that the change that's going to happen mechanically from the surgeon, basically, mechanically making their GI tract smaller so that they can't eat all the food that is keeping them imprisoned. That lifestyle of learning how to change your food long term has to be learned regardless. So a lot of people don't understand the long-term failure rate of people that have bariatric surgery is not something that's talked about often, because it's embarrassing for people. They feel ashamed. They feel like, well, if I freaking get my stomach stapled and I still can't long-term keep the weight off, what am I? I'm a loser in life. And no, you're not. But you didn't get to the root of the problem, which is learning how to make this lifestyle. And that's why the sustainability, the second point of sustainability, is huge, because if you really realistically can't see yourself dedicating 2 hours a day to exercise, which that's not good anyway, but it's not necessarily not good, but because humans were meant to move. But I'm talking about like what I did this morning. There's no way that my body would benefit from doing that for 2 hours.
For 2 hours. It was 10 minutes for a reason.
For real though. For real. So you want to have a plan. Point one, you want to have that plan be sustainable. And if you don't know what sustainable is, then ask for help. Most gyms give you 1 or 2 sessions with their personal trainers that are on staff for free. There are health coaches out there like the two of us. A lot of you guys have friends that are into fitness and you've always kind of watched them from the side and like, okay, I know that that's their thing. Well, it doesn't have to be just their thing. It can be your thing too. And so ask them for help, because trust me, people like us who realize all of the other benefits from having a healthy lifestyle, we want to share this with people. We want you to understand how great life can feel when you have control of your health and fitness, Totally. So point 3 is variance. And when Cinthanie and I were prepping for the show, and I said variance, she was like, what do you mean? But this is an important topic, especially for the listeners that are here because they found me on YouTube because of Club Fitz. The standard person who finds me on Club Fitz is someone that likes to dance, but either doesn't feel comfortable going to a gym in a group fitness setting, can't afford it, or just completely is, at the point where they just have no self-worth and they're just like, I only want to do it by myself at home and no one's watching. Right. Mm-hmm. And so they start doing it, and then they start moving and they start feeling good about themselves, and they start, like realizing, okay, this is what I needed. And they start losing weight, and then that's all they do. And this is where variance is really important, because yes, dance fitness or whatever your thing is, because obviously not everyone that listens to the Fitz and Healthy podcast is a dance fitness fan, but whatever your thing is, let that always be a part of your life. But remember that the body gets used to it, gets into what's called homeostasis. And so if you're doing the same dance fitness classes, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you will initially lose weight, but then your body adjusts, and just like a thermostat. So when your thermostat is on 69, I have to pick 69. Sorry. It does a lot of work to keep it there. But then once the temperature is there that at 69, then it doesn't have to do a lot of work. Right. So
it regulates.
Exactly. Yeah. So our body is great at regulating and keeping it into a homeostatic state. And so this is why you need to change up your workouts. Mm-hmm. You need to have variance, and you need to also get out of the mindset that certain things like yoga aren't part of aren't a workout. Like, guys, so variant, what are some good pointers for variance that you would add into a weekly workout regimen?
Well, like you mentioned, doing HIIT. I mean, that even 10 minutes, we did a 10-minute workout this morning of HIIT, and that was enough to make you feel like you're not fit at all.
Yeah, for real.
Enough to humble you.
Yes.
It doesn't even have to be extreme different types of exercise, but just incorporating different movements like HIIT, for example. If you are somebody that likes to weight train a lot, incorporating HIIT and things like that, just kind of almost keeping your body in a guessing game state.
Yes, that is a great analogy. It's so true, because if every single Friday I'm doing the same, thing that kicked my tail this morning, it's going to get used to it, and it's going to be like, all right, this is ain't no thing but a chicken wing. But also yoga, guys, I love yoga, and it's not, if you've never tried yoga, it is not, I mean, it can be a restful, restorative type yoga class, but most of the yoga classes I take are challenging and not restorative. And there is definitely a time and place for restorative yoga, where literally you go in and for an hour or so, you're doing one of only 5 moves.
Yeah.
I'm a little too ADD for that.
Yes.
I've done one restorative yoga class, and I'm still in my baby stages of meditation. I meditate every morning about 12 minutes. And one of these days I'll push it past the 12 minutes. But for me right now, it gives me so much benefit, so much bang for my buck of 12 minutes. But so restorative yoga does that for a lot of people. And we shall talk about that as well. But in my opinion, a great way to have variance in your weekly workout. So one, obviously you're planning. So not only planning on when you're going to start this routine, but planning exactly what you're going to be doing in your routine and when you're going to be doing it in your routine, right? But putting a HIIT workout 2 to 3 times a week, and a HIIT workout that's 10 minutes or less. So those of you that are like, I don't have time to, I've got, 10 million kids, or I work all the, you have 10 minutes to go balls to the wall, really just push yourself beyond your limits. And if that's all you can do that day, awesome.
Yeah.
Trust me, you will get so much benefit from that. Dude, the
lighting just changed.
And it totally looks like the filter on Instagram stories where it's the sun coming over, right?
Yeah. Totally.
For the listeners that are like, what? You're going to have to just go watch the video. I'm just saying. The sun's coming up over the horizon here in California. So variant 2 to 3 days a week of a HIIT workout where you are truly, you're basically wanting that hormonal hit that gets all of the hormones that do everything that are good for your body, your metabolism, your growth hormone, your insulin, your everything, right? Incorporating yoga a few times a week, I think is great for flexibility, strength, functional movement. And then I love weights. I love weight training. And do you have to do weight training every day? No, but you definitely, there are so many benefits from picking up a weight, or you don't even have to pick up using your own body weight, but using weight as resistance training. Resistance training is, I think, the key. So people are just so quick to do cardio and just jump on the treadmill or jump on the elliptical or take a class. But guys, it's so much, you get so much more bang for your buck when you vary it with other things other than cardio.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? Okay. So our fourth point. So we've got make a plan, make sure it's sustainable, make sure that there's some variance in it. And then our fourth point is probably, I don't know, it's not the most important. We say the most important, in my opinion, for last, but it's almost tied for the most important is accountability.
Yeah. Just having somebody in your corner that's going to support you to do it, especially because a lot of times I think the reason why most people's health and fitness goals fail, especially right after the new year, is that they aren't reason enough to do it. They will give up on themselves. They're not reason enough to do it. They have to have some kind of outer source or outer accountability to keep them going when they are willing to give up on themselves.
So true. And, this morning's workout is a great example. I did a split screen live broadcast with freaking Chris Downing, and there were times that I wanted to quit, the times that I wanted longer than 10 seconds to
breathe,
catch my breath. But the accountability, knowing that he was relying on me to be the example, and people in the group were looking to me as an example, like that's accountability, guys. And the fact is, accountability is what you make it. You can't make anyone do anything. And the fact is that the people that I coach, I'm their accountability partner, right? But at the end of the day, I can't go to their place and make sure that they're not eating crap and they're exercising and they're, taking care of good sleep habits and they're, taking care of good stress handling. What am I trying to say? I'm like, I need some caffeine. It's the sun that's in my eyes. But the fact is that accountability is a game changer for most people, because like you said, people will let themselves down, but when it comes to other people, they don't like to let other people down. And this morning was a great example of that. I didn't want to let Chris down. I didn't want to let the almost 700 people in the beta test group down, because if I'm not pushing, then they might have that. I don't want to push, And so accountability is the magic sauce.
Yeah.
And I know people get tired of me saying this, but I think it's true that if it were easy, we'd all be walking around ready to be on the cover of Fitness magazine, right? Totally. It's not easy. And it doesn't matter what your history is, how currently fit you are, what your education is. I'm sure people look at me and think that it's easy. It's not easy for me, guys. I have the same freaking struggles as you guys have. When I eat the standard American diet, it jacks with everything. I have the cravings. And that's one of the reasons why I'm just loving this group. The beta test group is it's crucial for me right now, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that really goes right into our fifth and final point, which is your why. You have to know why you're doing this. And it has to be more than just, I want to lose weight. Because again, like I said, so many people will give up on themselves with that. If it's hard, they'll say, you know what? screw it. I'm just going to stay this way forever because this is just, it's too hard. It's too hard to change. So you have to have a why that is so much more just deeper within you than I want to look good. Is it so that you can run around and keep up with your kids? Is it because your family has a history of diseases and you want to be able to battle those disease processes? For me, I know that that's what keeps me accountable because my family has a history of breast cancer and I want to be able to battle that disease process and know that I'm doing everything I can to not contribute to that gene.
Absolutely. You know, just this week I did a split screen live broadcast with one of my coaches and one of the participants in the beta group, and it was talking about, it was basically a follow up to my Fire Your Doctor video that got a ton of views because it resonated with so many people. But that video was instigated by my girl Crystal, who sent me some audio messages about her doctor basically like trying to talk her out of getting these labs and wanting to monitor her health. And he essentially told her, you know, she's doomed to the family history that she has in her, you know, own family medical history of thyroid disease, of diabetes, of heart disease, of all sorts of awful things. And you know, it infuriated me because I don't believe that. But her why is so much more than just freaking losing weight and looking good for, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it has to be deeper than that. The vanity of it might get you started. Like for me, I know that's what got me to care, is because I had gained 25 pounds and I didn't want to look that way anymore. That's what got me started, but that's not the reason that I stuck with it. Absolutely not the reason that I stuck with it.
No, for sure. So to go over your your New Year's fitness plan. 1, you have to have a plan.
Have a plan.
Yes. 2, that plan has to be sustainable. Don't set yourself up for failure, guys. Be realistic with that plan, but make sure that it is sustainable. 3, you've got to have variance in that plan. It can't just be freaking dance fitness every day of the week. I know that you love to dance, and if you want to dance every day, that's fine, but it can't be part of your total plan. You have to change up your workouts. You have to challenge your body and keep your body guessing, and don't let it get to that homeostatic complacency place. 4, accountability, the magic sauce, in my opinion. The magic sauce is where it's at, whether you do something online, you get friends from work, if you get family members, if you get just one other person that wants to have that has the same goals and wants some accountability, get some accountability in some form or fashion. And then the 5th is, in our opinion, know your why. Know your why, because that why needs to be visible everywhere you turn, because
it has to be bigger than you.
It has to be bigger than you. And it has to be something that is a constant reminder, because there are going to be days that you want to quit. There's going to be 5:30 a.m. sessions with Chris Downing that you want to quit. And you got to know your bigger why. My why is because I believe that this group is going to move mountains, and what we're doing in this is so it's so much bigger than that temporary pain that I'm feeling while I'm doing mountain climbers for the 8th time.
And your why may evolve and change. It might be different every day. You know, it might be one day because you need to lead by example. The next day it might be because you just need to know that you're going to be in a good mood for the other people around you. I mean, your why could be different daily and it will evolve and change, but just make sure that you are always finding a reason and a purpose outside of you to do what you do. Because when you take care of yourself and when you do make changes in your life, it affects everybody around you. When you change your habits or you change your mindset and you change the way that you are caring for yourself, that affects the way that you care for other people and the experience that they have with you in their life. So it's so much more than just you, and you have to recognize that when you commit to making a New Year's fitness plan.
But ultimately, that every single bullet point of that plan has self-love as the underlying theme. Because if you don't love yourself by taking care of yourself, then how can you expect anyone to fully love you and appreciate you? So you are worth it.
be able to give of yourself to others. You know,
Yes.
I know
Yes.
that on the days that I take the best care of myself that I can in the mornings is the day that I can give myself to others in a much bigger way in my coaching business, in my relationships, in my friendships, all around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we hope that this little New Year's fitness guide has helped you to instigate the thought process of, okay, what am I going to do?
Mhm.
Do I need to wait till January 1st? No, I don't think you do. I think that you need to, if you don't already have a fitness plan in place, use this episode today to instigate you starting to make a plan.
Today is your January 1st.
Exactly. I love that. We need to make a t-shirt. # today is your January 1st. Love it. I love it. And of course, that leads us to our most important message that we end every single podcast with. Cinthanie, we let them know.
You are a good person and you deserve good things to happen to you.
Amen. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Fitz and Healthy podcast. We appreciate your kind words, your subscribing, your reviews, and most of all, your love and support. Hope you guys have a great day. Make sure that you find us on social media. You can find Cinthanie on Instagram and Facebook at Cinthanie. So that's CINTHANIE, and on Snapchat at Cinthanie P. And find me on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at Club Fitz Fitness. Remember, that's FITZ Fitness. And on Snapchat, just at Club Fitz. I appreciate your time listening so much. If you enjoyed this episode of the Fitz and Healthy podcast, can you please go do me a favor and go subscribe at whatever platform that it is that you listen to podcasts. Leave a review. We read every single review, and we appreciate the time that you take to leave your thoughts and opinions. Now, also remember, while I am a medical doctor, the information I provide here is not intended to provide medical advice or a professional diagnosis, opinion, treatment, or services to you or to any other individual. I am providing general information for educational and informational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for medical or professional care. You should not use this information in place of a visit, call, consultation, or the advice of your physician or other healthcare provider. The information I share is not intended to treat, cure, or diagnose any disease or medical condition. If you believe you have a medical emergency, just call 911 immediately or your physician. Now, enough of that medical legal jargon. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I appreciate your time. Now, go live a fit and healthy life.